Okay, so now we're on day 12. We're doing parallel lines and transversals. So I think what we're looking for here, it says right off the bat, parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not intersect. Okay, so for example, K and M in this example, those are parallel lines. They do not intersect. We're showing that by putting the little arrows on those lines, showing that those are parallel. Again, this is how we denote that. Got a lot of postulates here. They go pretty quick. In class, we're going to go way more in depth with this, so if you have questions with it, maybe ask. But the basic premise of what we're talking about here, if we have two parallel lines as seen on this picture with a transversal running through, this is the easiest way I can put it. 1, 7, 3, and 5 are all congruent. And I mean, obviously they have to be like 1 and 7 because those are vertical angles, right? But like that's as easy as I can put it. 8 and 2 are also congruent, and they're congruent with 4 and 6 as well. That's what we're going to be getting at here right off the bat. So it's saying if you have corresponding angles, for example 2 and 4, those are congruent. Also 8 and 6 are congruent, but those are all congruent together. Alternating interior angles, these are not congruent. Or wait, I'm sorry, alternate interior, yes, they are. These are congruent. Consecutive interior, that's same side. These are not congruent, but they are supplementary. And again, we go way more into depth with this in class, but as of now, either if you pick two angles anywhere on this shape, anywhere on here, they're either going to be supplementary or they're going to be congruent. That's a fact, and that's a big fact. Any two angles that you pick on this transversal, they're either going to be supplementary or congruent. And these ones happen to be supplementary. As you can see, one's acute and one's obtuse. They would have to be supplementary then. Alternate exterior, here we have an acute angle, and we have another acute angle. That must mean they're congruent because it's only one of two options. They're either congruent or supplementary. So, find the measure of each numbered angle. Angle 1, I see that I have a line right here, and these two are parallel. So I would know right off the bat that angle 1 is going to be 82 degrees because those are corresponding angles, and up here we said corresponding angles were congruent, right? You can look back at that if you need to, but corresponding angles are congruent, so that's 82. On trying to find number 2 here, I can't really go straight from that 58 to the 2, but again, I can kind of, because I know if that's an acute angle and this is an obtuse angle, those are going to be supplementary. But we don't really have a theorem for that right now. So we can say, okay, well, I know this one is corresponding, so that one's 58. And then I can finally figure out what angle 2 is. So that would be, what, 122? Hopefully I got that right. 122 would be that one, because that would make it 180 with the 58. Two parallel lines are cut by a transversal as shown below. It says measure of angle 5 is 104. Find measure of angle 2 and 3. Well, 3's got to be 104 as well because that's also obtuse. I'm going to try to make my line a little bit better here. They're both obtuse, so they'd both be 104. And then angle 2 has to be supplementary with that. So that would make it 76. Number 3. Suppose measure of angle 2 is 115. That means this is 115 because those are both obtuse and they're vertical angles. And since this one is a corresponding angle with angle 2, it's also 115. Two parallel lines are cut by the transversal. Suppose measure of angle 1 is 42. I could literally go through this whole thing in like 2 seconds. That's an acute angle. That's 42. This one's 42. This one's 42. This one's 42. Done. All the other ones are obtuse angles, so they're going to be supplementary, which means this would be 136 136, 136, and 136. So yeah, it asks for 6 and 8, but they're all like either supplementary or congruent. Okay, so it says we see that angles 2 and 3 are, where's it asking this from? I'm not really sure which one this is going with. But that's probably good enough anyway. I think you can get through the Alex with just that. I think there's a picture that maybe has to go with what's down here. I'm not really sure what that's asking. So I would just worry about this for now. This should be a good start on what you need.